Yo, what's going on to those who are watching wherever you're watching this from? You must be planning a trip to Dubai and you need some things to do on your itinerary. I just got back from Dubai and to be honest, it really was a blast. It was kind of an inexpensive trip, but I could see how things can add up there really quick. So in this video, I'll list out a few of the things that I did, and I'll even throw in some things that you should do if you have the extra time. And look, make sure you stick around to the end because I will talk about the nightlife. So let's get started right after this.
Them dollar signs is only the top. I pay no mind to them haters, they talk. I level up and then open the watch. The world in my hand praying I don't drop.
So one thing you must do when traveling to Dubai is you have to make your way out to the desert. Now I will say the ATVs that are shown in this video, they are not included. They are not free, but the camels and the dune riding is. And now it was very, very fun, a little bit scary because there was so much chaos out there driving on those ATVs. There was no like map, but that's what made it very interesting. Going through the dunes probably was the scariest thing of the entire trip. They actually flatten the tires on these trucks and then they drive all over the desert on these mountain tall dunes. It was very scary and I thought we were gonna flip multiple times. And then you get to a camp where you actually get to ride these camels, and that was extremely fun. Some are bigger and some be making a lot of noise where you might be a little scared. Then you go into the back of this camp and they have so much food out there for you and a show of belly dancers and a fire performance. It was actually a really interesting day. Now, if you're going out to Dubai, you gotta make sure that you go do a yacht rental. The thing is, the yachts aren't that expensive depending on which one you go with. If you want an extremely fancy one and you have a larger budget, then there were some really nice yachts out there. Now keep in mind, Dubai is typically hot year long, so make sure you're going, whenever you go, it's gonna be hot, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Another thing you gotta do when traveling to Dubai is the Museum of the Future. This was a very interesting day. It was a very short thing. It was only about an hour and a half. However, you got to go up to multiple floors in this very cool looking building. And the whole emphasis behind going there was you were traveling to the future to year 2050 while being in Dubai. So everything they did is showing you is things that they actually kind of want to do in the future. Tickets are only $50. So look, if you got an hour or two to spare while you are in Dubai, make sure you go check out the Museum of the Future. Now, when going to Dubai, you gotta make sure that you go check out those local shops. That's where the locals go and shop, and you're gonna find the things that you won't find in the mall. Things are typically a little bit cheaper, and you can find some of the local gear like the gowns that a lot of Indians like to wear. Make sure you are on your P's and Q's because you will get harassed and surrounded by the shops people. But look, I completely understand. I don't blame them because look, that's what they do for a living. That's how they put food on the table. Go get it. Now, you know, when you go out to Dubai, you must go to the Dubai Mall and the Burj Khalifa. So the Dubai Mall is actually the biggest mall in the entire world. It was so big, it had a huge aquarium in it, which is actually said to be one of the biggest in the world as well. Did not get to stop at that, but the mall is just so big that you get lost. There is no way you can travel this mall in a few hours. So if you really, really want to shop and explore that mall, make sure you go and plan an entire day just for the mall activities. Now, the great thing about it is the mall is attached to the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest building in the world. And you can get right to the Burj Khalifa through the basement of the mall, as you see here. So it was really neat going up to one of the top floors of the Burj and taking some really cool pictures. Like, I really enjoyed myself because I'm sort of an adrenaline junkie. So heights and things that actually scare me make me excited. I don't know, weird. And then last but not least is the nightlife. Look, I heard so much things about Dubai before getting there in terms of the nightlife, and it was all bad things. But I will say the nightlife out there was very fun. There were a ton of things to do. I mean, there was a lot of liquor, and I heard it was really hard to find liquor. I will say it seemed like all of the nightlife options were in hotels, but if you've been to Vegas and other big cities, typically those are actually the funnest nightlife option. They had some weird rule in some places where you would pay, let's say 200 and then you wouldn't have to buy a drink the entire time in there. I actually kind of like that. And then I will say the biggest con about Dubai nightlife, it wasn't that there wasn't any liquor to find. It was more of the women. There were a ton of very, very beautiful women. However, every woman that you talk to wanted money. And it was very difficult to deal with because you just don't see it as, it isn't so much in your face in the US. And now look, if that's what you like to get into, by any means, you know, do you, but it wasn't something that me and my friends actually enjoyed. Now, a few other things that I didn't get to do while going to Dubai that you should is making your way out to the Grand Mosque. Apparently it is very beautiful. It was something that was on the itinerary, but one day we just decided to chill by the pool and go to the spa instead. Ferrari World is actually very nearby the mosque, and that's a amusement park that is themed by Ferrari. It seems very cool. We considered it. There are a ton of water parks, so make sure you make it out to some of those water parks because it is very, very hot in Dubai. And then maybe even the deepest pool. I saw a video about that and I was very interested in it. Didn't have time to do it on this trip, but maybe if I make my way back out to Dubai, you might see it in the next video. Now that's pretty much all I have for y'all. So I really want to thank y'all for tuning into my video. If there is something I need to do that I left out, or if there is something that you had a terrible time at, please drop it in the comments below. I'll greatly appreciate it. And if you like this content, go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button, please and thank you. But thank y'all again for tuning in. I'm now signing out. Peace.